Good morning, Martine. Here's your machine, the Breville Oracle 980 in silver. Um, as you've seen the photos, it's in good condition, I would say. It does have some wear and tear. After all, it is a used machine. Um, so mainly light scratches around here, and here as well. And that's pretty much from when you get your cups in and out of the machine here, um, which is typical. It's inevitable, actually. You can change the drip tray and the grill if you wish to in the future, but it'll get scratched after use. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. You have a small ding here, but really other than that, it's in very good condition. Some light wear around the top tray here as well from putting your cups. This tray is metal and it will get really hot if you turn on the machine for maybe like 10-20 minutes. So you can keep your mugs here to stay warm. But yeah, that's the outside condition. I've just finished the service and on the inside it's immaculate. I've made sure to clean it, do the descale cycle, do the cleaning cycle. I've readjusted the grinder for you so that it's ready to go now, and the steam on cleaning as well. Okay, I'll show you how I make my coffees. I actually own a Breville Oracle as well, so I know how to use the machine. It's a really nice machine to have. I like to start my mornings with a blank shot. So obviously make sure that the machine has enough water. The machine will tell you if it's empty. It will say filled tank, but you can also see very clearly here you have a sight line of the water level. Once it approaches the bottom of this reading, you should fill it. This would be enough for a coffee or two. It should be okay for now. So yeah, I've put on the handle on the machine. No coffee yet, just hot water. I like to run a blank shot to run hot water through the system, warm up my handle, warm up my cup, and if there's any dirt, this process will clean it as well. So I like to do this every time. The button has a timer for 30 seconds. That's the double cup. That's 30 seconds. You can stop it at any time. I believe the single cup is at 15 or 20, I'm not exactly sure. That's good. So now my mug is half full of water, so it'll stay nice and hot for the time being while we grind the coffee and prepare our milk. I'm gonna put this on this side. And I like to take a tissue after this blank shot, using the tissue to dry the portafilter basket. This is important because you need a dry portafilter to grind your coffee. And by the way, here's the other stuff that the machine comes with: the knockbox, your milk jug, and there's a few other tools hidden inside the drip tray. So like the brush and a few other things as well. I think there's a single basket as well if you like your coffee is a bit weaker than standard, so this is the double standard basket. You can probably improve your coffees if you use a scale to measure the input and output of the coffees. As you saw, the fan just turned off. There's a lot of settings on this machine, it's crazy. I'll show you how to turn on the fan. I've put it to quiet, but you can turn it on by going this and this. And then there's a few settings, so if you want to reset to factory settings, descale cycle, don't do the descale cycle ever, more on that later. I think this is the temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius, LCD brightness, spotlight if you want the light to shine, steam boiler temperature, some milk wand, sound, fan is the fan. Let's put it on default. And there's a few more settings, but you don't really need to go into those settings. There's another, like the default settings menu over here. This is where you adjust your button lengths, cleaning cycle, clock. This machine has a clock, and you can actually set it to wake up for you in the morning, so that when you come to make a coffee, it's nice and hot. Tamper settings, pre-infusion, long black adjustment, heaps of settings. And here's your milk settings. Let's put it maybe 60 degrees. Yeah, so all you need to know is pretty much in this. All you need to adjust is in this setting, but if you need to tweak the machine some more, you can go into the advanced settings as you saw. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Okay, you can probably improve your coffees by grabbing a scale and weighing the coffee grounds and weighing the espresso as well. So I'm gonna show you what this machine doses. I've set the grinder to dose 20 grams. From factory it comes at 24, which is actually quite a lot of coffee. 18 is closer to the standard, but this machine will give you 20, which is nice and generous. 20 grams of ground coffee, that is, into this double basket. With the single basket, I think it's about half of that. Not exactly sure, because I rarely do single cups. But yeah, I think 20 would be more, I guess, reasonable for a latte or for a coffee. But if you wanted to increase that, you can always pull the grinder tamper from here and adjust that to 24. You don't really need to do that though. Okay, here's what the machine does. So there's gonna be some loose coffee, just whip it out and clean the edges before you put it on the machine. So this is ready to go, but I'm just gonna show the weight. This is 19.5, so it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I've set my actual machine to the same setting as well. But yeah, if you like your double shots even stronger than 19, which is quite strong, you can increase that from the inside. Okay, that's about 20 grams. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna make sure I twist and screw this in at least at 6 o'clock, maybe even 5 o'clock, a bit more to the right. But dead center is the minimum. If you don't screw it in tight enough, it might, pop off or something. So make sure you lock it in tight. It says it right here. So I'm gonna keep it around here. This is good, around just a bit off center. Don't force it too much though, not good for the machine. But yeah, 6 o'clock. Here's the mug, nice and hot. I'm gonna dump the hot water into the sink. And it's at this stage where you want to add sugar, syrups, artificial sweeteners, things like that. So I'm gonna add my sugar. The machine also has a hot water tap. So right here. You can use that for making tea, Americanos. You can use it to warm up your mugs, up to you really. And the machine also has a long black function where after you grind the coffee into the handle and put it on here, you can select the length. You can select the length of the long black. And it will actually give you espresso and hot water in one button, so you don't really have to move your cup. You can just put your cup here and it will put the hot water and the coffee in the same cup, which is pretty nice. I don't use it often though, I just drink lattes. Yeah, so that's my cup. The sugar is nice and dissolved now. I'm going to use the scale again to measure how much liquid espresso comes out. And that's important because the machine will always, it will always give me coffee for 30 seconds. I need to gauge whether that 30 seconds give me this much coffee, very little coffee, no coffee. That will depend on the grind size. So this is the grind size. At the moment I've dialed it into 36 and I found 36 to be perfect. So I've calibrated my scale now, and I've tried this a few times. The grind size 36 will give me about double of the ground coffee, which is perfect. So it'll give me 40 grams of espresso. Let's try that. You need to focus obviously on how much coffee comes out, but also the flow. It needs to be nice and smooth. Just like that. Not too quick, not too slow. Nice and creamy, I would say. Looks really, really good. So yeah, the machine will stop at 30 seconds. If the machine gives me too little coffee at 30 seconds, that means the grind size is very fine and it's choking the machine. If it's giving me too much coffee, then that probably means the grind size is very coarse and it's very high. So I'll probably try to bring it down and make it finer. So the numbers go from, I think, 45 to 1. 1 is the finest. 1 is very, very fine. It's like talc powder. And 36 to 45 is a bit coarser. So you have a very wide range of grind sizes, and you want to adjust the grind size based on, that's 50 grams, that's fine. You want to change your grind size based on the speed and the amount of coffee that the machine gives you. So not to make this any more complicated, it can get overwhelming, but this machine makes it quite easy, especially with the tamper and the fixed dose. So like, you don't have to change the dose really. Like there's no dial to change the dose, and the tamper is sort of constant. So the only non-automated part of this machine is really the grind size. Everything else is pretty much automated. The milk is automated, the grind, the dosing, even the timing is automated. You just need to change the grind size. Yeah, so just to summarize, if you get too much coffee, you need to make the grind size finer. If you get too little coffee, you need to make the grind size larger, and try to jump in increments of 1 to 2. I found 36 to be perfect. And Breville only recommends you change the grind size as the grinder is spinning. So let's say I want to bring it down to 34, 35. I'll wait for it to grind, and then I'll go. And then I'm just going to dump this because this is the old setting. Now that it's at 35, I can try this again and see if that's better, if it's slowed down my coffee or not. Yeah, okay, this video is getting quite long, so I'm gonna move on to the milk. Even after doing the coffee, I like to run a blank shot as well, so just hot water to flush things, clean the handle, clean the brew head. That's good. And put it in. And I like to keep it in here because by the next morning, when the machine turns on its own, the portafilter will be nice and hot along with the machine. Yeah, okay, so here's my espresso. Very nice. Try to not let it sit out for too long. This machine is obviously a dual boiler, so it can do both the milk and the coffee at the same time. Just for the sake of the video, I've chosen to do them separately, but really you can do them at the same time, and you should be doing them at the same time. I think it's better for the freshness of the coffee. You don't want to let the milk sit out for too long because that will get rid of its texture, and you don't want the espresso shot to sit out for too long because that will get rid of its crema. Now that I've emptied the water tank, I should fill it before the machine gets angry at me. Anyway, when your water tank is empty, it'll actually not allow you to make coffee. So the buttons will go off and it will say fill tank. But it's got a little bit of a reserve before it warns you. So I'm going to fill it before it warns me. That should be enough. We're only going to make the milk now. Okay, espresso shot done. Let's do the milk. With the milk wand, it's automated, so it's quite easy. You select your temperature, so it goes from I think 75 to 55. Yep, 75 to 45. Oh, 40 even. 40 is quite cold. I don't know why anyone would do it that way. But I think the average is 60. 60 is the standard, I guess. And it goes from really frothy cappuccino on top to really like a flat latte texture. So I think the default is in the center. I'm gonna try to make it a bit more frothy. I like a little bit of foam. Okay, so give it a purge just to get rid of the hot water and the old steam, just like that. And then make sure you fill your wand with enough. Make sure you fill your jug with enough milk. It has to be around this line on the spout here. If it's too little, the wand won't reach. It won't reach, so it has to be at least maybe up to here, which is standard. The machine will do everything for me. It'll heat the milk to temperature, and it'll also inject air into the milk. Okay, after it's done, you want to grab a wet towel. You want to wipe it before you do anything. So I'll take this out, and then I'm going to wipe the wand. The wand actually has an auto cleaning feature where once you push it down, it'll purge steam through the wand just to remove any milk residue on the inside. So here's that in action. Maybe give it another wipe just to make sure it's nice and clean. And yeah, try to keep it nice and clean, it'll last you forever. And with the portafilter, we've already emptied it, so nothing else to do there. And with the other maintenance procedures on the machine, there's a cleaning cycle. Let me actually finish my coffee first. So. I'm gonna tap the milk down, break any bubbles. Here's the latte. Not my best work, but I guess I could have increased the milk frothiness. So here's the screen, nice and clear. If you increase it here, it'll give you more texture, more foam. If you go down, it'll make it pretty much flat. So maybe try it around here. And again, don't let it sit out for too long. Not good for the milk. Yeah, cleaning features on the machine, it'll remind you to do the cleaning cycle every 3 months or so. I've already done that. That's where you use the white tablets. There's also the descale cycle, but I strongly advise you don't do that cycle because it ruins the boiler. So don't do the descale cycle. Heaps of people have broken their machines trying to do the descale cycle. If you use clean water and change the water filters on time, you don't really need to descale the machine. Just make sure you maybe flush the boilers every few months or every year, which is where you open the ports here, let the water come out. Obviously when the machine is cold, you open these and you let the water come out, and then close them, and then the machine will refill. That will pretty much clean the boilers, but you don't need to do the descal cycle, otherwise you might have issues. You can open the grinder, so open the burr, vacuum any coffee remnants in there, maybe remove the blade and also vacuum around it. You can also vacuum around here, that's your tamper. I think that's all, nothing else. If you have any issues, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help and help you with troubleshooting and diagnosis. Hopefully you won't need me anytime soon, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the machine. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Cheers.